Each a new one.
Should we start with Peggy in the health department? since
Oh,
she's here?
sure.
Oh. Hey Peggy, maybe Ronnie's gone, so maybe we'll just do your department real quick.
Sure.
All right. We like that.
Absolutely.
So we're calling the meeting to order at 9:07.
Correct. The meeting is now in order. So, all right.
Like it.
Thank you very much.
Cute.
It's
I said the
brand
same
new.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
So, new
Call
hair.
you look like
I think
Jennifer
like-
Aniston now.
Oh, I like that. I'll take that compliment. All day long.
Younger too,
Thank
younger.
you. That's what she said.
Always
That's
good, too.
great.
That's good.
Okay, the haircut stays for sure.
Yeah.
I'll put that on your check from now on.
Okay, that sounds good. Oh, is everybody doing good?
Yeah.
Good.
Sleeping?
Sleep.
What? Sleeping?
No,
No, not the last couple days.
no sleeping.
I'm sleeping.
But last week I did. It was good. How about you? Sleeping? So. No. Just give me drugs. I'll go to sleep.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Okay.
So what are we going over? Or
I have no idea.
So,
I have no idea.
okay. Well, we're here because,
I didn't invite anybody.
well, I was here, so, and,
I'm not sure, I was just here to listen, so
Oh,
Yeah.
so
you,
this is
Yeah.
just a normal budget work session
Okay.
meeting.
okay.
She probably wants to see maybe how, did we make any cuts dramatically to her to review? Just so people aren't blindsided come final day. Do we want to?
No,
Okay.
we went with what they did before, but then they were wanting to
found-
increase. Remember, they were
Well,
wanting to increase.
I do have a situation that I need to discuss at some point because we switched the filler position to do the PEP grant and 10 hours of administration, and that is not working.
It's not gonna work.
That is not working. So we really need to relook at that. It's put a lot of extra stress on the whole staff because the office is in a complete disarray. So we need to talk about that and also discuss the 30 hours for the administrator or director position. But I think we need to revamp that. And I don't know what that's gonna look like, but it is not working.
And I don't believe.
Then why
that
isn't
will.
it working?
Because I don't believe the person that's replaced for the FEP grant is not knowledgeable enough to be able to do that grant. And there's not enough hours for her to contribute to the office work and the office demands. It's quite a bit more. Shirley was a miracle, well, the other one was the miracle worker in that she was able to do that, but it was getting pretty precarious about overstepping on grant dollars versus, county or administrative hours. We're kind of over scooching onto the grant. And we were walking a real fine line there. If we were ever audited, I don't know that I could really justify that. I mean, we tried, but the office is too busy. It's really super busy right now with all the immunizations that are coming in. And most of the responsibilities for that administrator is to schedule those appointments, get out, do all the clerical work, filing work, and inputting into MTRAX, which is the state registry. There's quite a few steps there for them to take, and we're still trying to work it out, but I know one thing, the FEP grant is not working.
So the position that this person was moved into, it's not going to work for that person?
No.
So what would you do with that person?
Well, I spoke with that person, and I was thinking I could move her into the administrative assistant position and take a cut in hours, or pay.
And who takes a cut in pay?
the administrator, the person you're speaking of.
The person
Oh.
I'm speaking of would be willing to take a cut in pay to work these administrative assistant position. Then we can look at hiring someone with a little bit more knowledge base on emergency preparedness to do the grant, and the grant would cover their salaries. But we would have to increase the hours for the administrative assistant position. But it still would be, you know, I don't know what the minimal wage is, starting wage for.
805.
So,
I mean, we couldn't cut her pay. We would have to post the position and she would have to apply for it and go through
Okay.
that process.
whatever process it was, but we can do. But it's, the way the situation is now, I'm doing most of it right now.
The grant, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
The FEP stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I honestly don't have enough hours to put to that. So, you know, I've got other things I need to get done. So it's really taking more of my time in the training. And I spoke with this person and, you know. So that's my dilemma right now. And I certainly don't want to cost the county any more additional monies than you have to, but it's not working in that office. It just absolutely is not. And so we got to think outside the box or really come up with a good plan to make it work. So,
Does PEP allow for-
pardon?
Does PEP allow for health insurance
Mm-mm.
coverage of it
We
all?
can try, I can try to look at FEP to see if they can compensate for some health insurance. If I lower the cost of the hourly wage, maybe I can, you know, before I was looking at, usually these grants don't offer monies to help with health insurance. They typically don't, but they will help with the benefits. But the health insurance is so much that it takes quite a big chunk out of there, and you can't do the operations of the grant. So especially when they are filtered from the state or fed through the state, and the state, you know, doesn't allow for funding for that sort of support. But maybe I can look at it and do a partial, you know, a partial contribution to health insurance. I mean, there's ways to, the only thing I would have to make sure of is that I get somebody that really needs minimal training. You know, that knows the IC stuff, which is incident command, knows about, a little bit about emergency preparedness. The other flip-flop on that, to get someone qualified, you have to pay them the money to get, you know, it's just a real catch-22, but I do know I need to rethink what we're doing right now. So that's my dilemma.
So it's
Crickets, yeah.
a learning curve of the grant and the teachability of this one person isn't able to quite grasp and keep up.
Well, the FEP grant is kind of like a whole different language, as you know, don't you, Ronnie? And unless a person's been exposed, like, you know, you've been exposed to incident command and how you tree out, you know, the different portions of emergency and operations and stuff like that. You bring a person who's never been exposed to that, the learning curve is pretty big. And the language is a huge thing because they talk in different languages, so to speak, for, you know, just like incident command. Not a lot of people know what that means, you know, and so some people it'd be doable, but I don't know in this situation if it's going to be doable, you know.
Some people just can't grasp it.
Yeah.
They either can or they can't, and you have to have somebody that knows what they're doing to get it done.
And how many hours
Well,
are we talking about?
I basically allotted 30 hours to do this grant. They want to see, the grant says they want at least anywhere from a, you know, half-time to full-time person. They don't want somebody, I think it stipulates that.
So Peggy, you, I mean, just thinking about moving stuff around, could do the FEP grant, pay yourself from that, and then take money from the general fund that's already been allotted to to you from the general fund.
Here's what I found with the FEP grant when I put myself in there. Remember when I did that before and I was gonna take that role? It only allocated for the amount of money that I got for that grant year, for the money we get, because they cut us 10 grand from last year, which is not always typical, but they do that. They dropped 10 grand on us, and so when I figured out my salaries, I was only allotted about 14 hours, and I don't think that's enough to do the grant, you know, at my current rate. I mean, I really don't. And I don't think it's within what the grant stipulates, because they stipulate in there they want a part-time, so it wouldn't even meet their part-time criteria. So. I could probably do it because I've done it. I look back, I've done this grant since 1998. And I pretty much can whip through it, but if they're saying they want a part-time to full-time person, this won't meet it. I won't meet that criteria.
Well, I mean, you would.
She would, because she only can
Not
work.
at her rate.
At her rate, she can only work 14 hours. a
Right, but
week.
even if we took 14 hours out of the general fund, right?
But they're saying that they want somebody to spend a minimum of 20
20.
hours on it.
I understand that, but then the other 4 hours would come from the general fund. So she could still do it,
Well, then,
right?
But then you're going backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we're paying money out of the general fund to run a grant. So
Yeah.
that seems it just seems like we're going backwards. It seems like to me, it seems like the most efficient, cost-effective way is to have one person that is actually qualified to do FEP at 20 hours a week and to be your administrative assistant at 20 hours a week, and you have one employee. We don't change it all around where we have a 40-hour administrative assistant again.
oh, I don't want to, I don't believe we need a 40-hour administrative
So
assistant.
what would that employee do? So
I
she
think-
would come back at minimum wage, she would reapply at minimum wage,
Mhm.
and how many hours are you thinking?
I was thinking 30 hours, but
Yeah, it just seems like the most efficient way, I think, is to have one employee that's capable of doing, that's the best, most cost-effective way, but.
And would she have to advertise outside? She could advertise actually in-house, because that's normally what we do first, is advertise to people in-house.
And that's a
then
chart,
outside.
I don't know, I'm not good at any of that stuff.
Everyone
Because
else's
I
rate
come
of
from
pay
like,
is gonna be too high for that, there's no way we're gonna
In-house?
have any, yeah. There's no way
well,
we're
not
gonna
for
have
an
anybody-
admin position.
But I'm saying I'm saying if we had anybody else in-house, nobody else would probably apply in-house because all of our rate of pay is higher than that position. And that's just the reality of it. And I hear what you're saying, Jess, with the reality of the 20 and the 20. Another thought I was having is if we did offer the FEP grant at 20 hours, that's no cost of insurance to anybody. We see if we can get someone in there that's,
or even 25.
Interested,
Isn't
or
that,
you
isn't
know,
that
25.
below?
and the grant's paying for that person, and then we don't need health insurance at this time. You know, because I used to, as a mom with Gannon, I loved part-time work, and I would pay my own health insurance out of that. And so the option might be to say, hey, we do have this position at 25 hours a week, see if we can get someone qualified in there. We're not having the insurance costs at that time, so that's
Yeah.
an option. Honestly, in our office, being in there right now, we do almost need a full-time admin. I mean, I know you're saying we don't.
I know.
But she's been in and out because of what's been going on health-wise, and it has been,
Crazy.
it's insane. It's insane. I've got Jen running around with her hair going this way and that, or
Yeah.
sorry, I've got one person doing that. I got another person running around doing the other stuff.
Right.
Well,
I'm
we've got-
trying to cover phones.
Yeah.
And which is fine. And then, but I'm running out to get a home visit, and I'm, those things. And so, the thing is we are dealing with emergency preparedness. We're dealing with immunizations
That 10 key here.
and those types of things. I did the math just now also. So if you're willing to, if we were talking about keeping the director at 24 right now, and instead adding a 30-hour-a-week admin assistant at the 805 rate, it comes to about a $12,400 mark. I think I just erased it, but give or take, plus the health insurance that we're already paying for that employee. So you're not upping health insurance at all.
And we wouldn't have to pay health insurance on the other, at
It
25.
comes
Even
to
if I book,
$12,500.
when does health insurance kick in, Charlie? 30? So I can even go up to 29.
Mhm.
On the FEP, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an option, and it may be something, you know, and then you have one person focusing solely on that if they're interested. It just doesn't have the health insurance benefits at this time, which we do
So the
part-time
additional
work.
cost is 12,000
So, yes.
roughly?
But roughly 12,558.
And that's just in,
That's salary.
that's just
But
in salary.
what we were proposing before with the director position, which we were here to talk about in the first place, that was already an 8,000, I think $600 mark. So I can do that real quick, times 52. So it was 8,736. So I mean, we were already planning to discuss this amount and negotiate on it. This is gonna be, you know, minus 12. It's a $3,822 difference from us moving the director up to that 30-hour mark. And I understand we're cutting, I sat here and watched you guys make hard decisions last time on cutting budgets and supplies, and I understand we're talking employees and things like that. I feel that, can I plug this
Yeah.
in? The health department, because we do so many different things that actually, they have repercussions. I mean, we're dealing with dog bites and making sure people are getting taken care of with that. We're dealing to make sure everyone gets the correct immunizations, which is our nurses' responsibilities, but an admin person is the person helping draw up all our paperwork, making sure everything's signed correctly, making sure HIPAA's followed. You know, they're the ones answering and making sure phone calls are getting through to all of us. The office, we just have so many moving parts. To have one person focused on those moving parts is really integral to making sure it runs effectively and no one ends up hurt or not taken care of in this case. So, I mean, that's just an option, but those are the numbers right there. How much did we cut originally off of all the supplies and everything else, do you recall?
15,000.
Okay.
You guys looking at me for a reason?
Well, we see
You're
smoke
curious
coming
about
out
your
your can
crunching.
there.
Yeah, so I come up with, it would be roughly like an additional cost of $8,800 to do that, because you're gonna, right now, the general fund is paying for 10 hours, maybe, and off the top of my head, maybe like $13.50,
It's 12, I think.
somewhere in there.
No.
That rate of pay,
No,
let's see,
it's,
is it more, 13, it's 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's right in there, so 10 hours at 13. I think it's maybe a little different than 13, but,
It's, I've got it right here, I'm sorry, I don't know if that,
Let's see.
that's there.
um,
I think that's the,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I never considered that.
so right now they're paying
How
that
much is
much. So then minus 12,558.
yeah.
It actually comes to,
So, yeah, so,
5,010.
so I get, it's,
100.
and then you add in all of the fringe on top of that, say, so it's about $8,000 more.
but, and can I ask you, are we already paying the fringe on her though?
But you're paying more now, right?
We're paying, well,
That does not include health insurance, because you are paying health insurance already.
yeah, that's what
So
I'm saying,
that's not part of the
so.
addition, but you have $5,000 more
Mhm,
in payroll, and so you have to add
with the fringe.
all of the fringe on
Got it.
top of that 5,000,
So
it's
you
like
got an
$55
$5,500.
mark, yep, that
Right?
makes sense.
PRS and
Right.
whatnot.
PERS and all
Yep,
that,
social
okay.
security, Medicare,
Mhm.
unemployment, workers' comp, you add all of that on, you get to roughly about $8,000 more.
Which is about what we were asking for with the director position. with the 6 hours. Because remember when we were asking for the 24 to the 30?
Oh, yeah.
And so with the 30-hour increase, we were looking at just over an $8,000 mark of increase in pay with those other things.
So if you went the other way
Mhm.
and you just got one person in there that could do both jobs and work 20 hours on FEP and 20 hours as the administrative,
Mhm.
say at the same rate of pay, I guess the thing is because even then you have to give that person 10, if you don't think that person can do it at 10 hours, then I guess we just have a problem.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I mean, I don't know what to do. The commissioners, I'm recommending that they cut a minimum of $75,000 today,
Mhm.
and recommended is $150,000. So, I just have to default, I mean, I'm not going to,
No.
it's not my,
Yeah.
No, we
but
adjust.
they aren't in a situation necessarily just to go back,
Well,
but.
we're in a position
But I
right now
understand.
that we
It's-
can't operate our offices
I
in the
know.
way it's going now, so we've tried it, we have to do something.
Mhm.
We can't just
I-
do nothing.
I think the first thing that all offices need to do is that if you have an employee that can't do what they're supposed to be doing,
Mhm.
you need to look at replacing that person.
Mhm.
That's reality.
Mhm.
I think that would be,
It's a hard one.
it's hard, but that's,
Mhm.
I mean, we need, this county, in my opinion, it needs to be run, we need to be efficient, and to be efficient, you're gonna have to have employees that can do that.
Well,
You know?
this person can pretty easily take over the.
I kind of feel like we're kind of going into a gray area where maybe
Where we shouldn't.
where we shouldn't, and maybe a meeting needs to be set up
Sure.
between Peggy and the commissioners.
Sure.
Where discussions can be had, just because I think we're kind of in a gray
Okay.
area.
Yeah.
We don't wanna make a decision when it isn't even on the table yet.
Well, not only that, but when you're talking about employees or anything like
Yeah.
this, we need to make sure that we're doing
Right.
it correctly, and this is definitely not the time or place for that, I think. So, I definitely think what you're saying is valid, and I think that you need to be heard, but I think that that's a
Mhm.
conversation that needs to be done between you and them.
Okay.
So if that's something that you guys want to schedule, we can do that on the 1st in the evening. That's our first evening meeting. It's before budgets are final on the 2nd. You guys you can definitely do that.
The budgets I need to have the numbers by Tuesday at the latest, because then I have a whole bunch of work to do to have the budgets all prepared, finalized, ready to sign on Tuesday. So we can't be making budget changes Thursday evening. So I need them done by Tuesday. Truly,
So there.
yeah. So there's a deadline.
And there's always opportunity for budget amendments later if we do something drastic or change.
Always do a budget amendment.
I mean, I don't know, between the two options, you're talking about $8,000 for more on the director spot or
Or not.
whatever. And then, yeah, I don't know what to do about if the employee was efficient like the previous one or better, then it would be
Let's
doable.
just-
And we're not saying that, like,
No.
and like Charlie said with the gray, it's just a different situation.
It's just a
She's very
different.
efficient and capable, it's just a different situation with a different position. And, like Ronnie said, it's just a different grant.
And what about, will things improve when Peggy's out of the wood with her issue?
So why
Oh,
don't we set a meeting for you guys to talk?
Yeah, let's do that. When?
It's up to them. When do you guys want to do that? You guys tell me and I'll schedule it. We have that lovely night meeting coming up. You have the 2nd, you have the 9th, 16th,
1, 2, 9, or 16?
1, 2, 9, or 16. The one on the 1st, Peggy is going to be after 6 o'clock from
Let me look, I'm looking at my
I
schedule
got
right now.
informed last night that the search and rescue usually meets the first Thursday at 7.
Guess I'll have to find another spot.
Don't look at me, I'm not search and rescue.
Yeah,
I have enough on my plate, I don't need them.
Nothing.
I
They
didn't
can-
know that
they
they,
can
I
meet
didn't
the
know that
fire
they
hall or
met the
something.
first Thursday.
And it's a Tuesday.
No, the
Make
first is
sure we
a
notify
Thursday.
them, sir.
Oh,
and
a
they
Thursday,
usually
yeah,
meet in
sorry.
theirs.
Yeah.
Make sure we notify
And it's at
them.
6?
Yeah, we could do, we have the hospital coming at 6, but we could do 7.
Okay,
You wanna do 7? So that's going to be a closed meeting, I think,
mm-hmm.
Possibility.
possibly. Blah, blah.
And she can elect who can stay, so if she wanted you to stay or both or somebody
Okay.
else. When it says close, it's just so that the public isn't listening in on what, but she can elect to have certain people stay. in the meeting.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for your time, guys. Is there anything else concerning our budgets today that we should be present for, or where, I know you said last time we were good to go, so is there anything else we should be?
I don't think anybody's like good to go.
Well, we weren't,
I
we
did not
weren't,
with the.
we weren't
but
doing drafting.
There's nothing
There
else
was
to
nothing
discuss
drafted.
Yeah,
at this
nothing.
point. I mean, you can sit and listen to.
I do need to touch base with you and finalize the WIC budget and the IAP budget.
Yeah, so we'll do all of that next week.
Okay.
I'll be here pretty much all week next week.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah. We're just kicking the can down the road here.
It's a tough road to kick it down.
My head hurts already.
Want to just specific stuff? What do you want to talk about? Or you just want to
Well-
listen?
No,
Got
I
dust done.
thought I was supposed to be here.
I-
To
I
talk
had-
about,
well, I had
because our
talked to-
cutting stuff.
I had talked to the sheriff, saying that we went, last week, we kind of did some more cuts, and so I thought that maybe they would want to know what's
Where you cut it.
progressing or what's degressing, so that they're not surprised
'Cause I
when
don't
we
know
do the
where else
final
we
one in
can
a week
cut.
or whatever, I mean, just like,
Overtime.
for example, the supply
So the
budget.
budgets, just so you know, so it was notified in the paper, and all of those revised budgets are up in the clerk and recorder's office, so anybody can always go and look at them at
Okay.
any time. So I don't know exactly what did they tell us?
But since we are trying to make another 70-some thousand in cuts today, that we're probably gonna be looking at the sheriff's office, so thought maybe.
Right now, I don't know where we're gonna cut because I've got people on overtime because of lack of people.
I mean, for the
Dispatch.
dispatcher that left,
Yeah.
did Chris Rogers come back?
He came back,
Are you guys,
started on Wednesday.
are you still working 4/10s?
No,
You're down to 8s?
yes. Well, right now I'm down to 6-day weeks because I'm still short one person. I'm waiting on an employee to come back.
Oh,
That
the
was
one
out.
the one that's ill.
Yes.
In dispatch.
Mm-hmm.
And I have an employee sitting up there waiting for me to come back, and we're paying them overtime,
Mm.
so I'm kind of trying to hurry up.
Mm-hmm.
We went back through, and I know you were looking at the Verizon bill, and we've been cutting out of that. We've turned off the 2 air cards and 2 other phones as soon as I have the exact phone numbers, because there's tablets on those.
I emailed those to you.
Huh?
I emailed those to you.
The tablets, but some of them are not the correct phone numbers, because we had turned them off and then turned them back on.
Oh.
So I have to have the new numbers to turn them off correctly,
Mhm.
and I have one for sure that'll be turned off. And you said something about other phones, so I don't know which phones are gonna be turned off. We got the one can't remember the number right off, and I think it's 2412 number. I'm not sure who had that one, but that phone number is no longer good. That phone is dead. So it's yours,
Mhm.
sorry, it's dead. I didn't know what other phone numbers are supposed to come off of that Verizon bill, because that one's not part of the sheriff's office.
As far as ours are concerned, it's just that 2412.
Okay, so then the other one and the Justice of the Peace's phone.
That, yeah,
Those two will
that's,
stay.
yeah, that'll,
Okay.
yeah.
But like I said, on the other ones, Marsh is keeping, I wanna say for sure 2 active. And then there would be 2, I think, that are turned off. I don't know if you're keeping,
Why is there 2 active from Marcia?
There's 2 from iPads.
she has hers and
I
she
have.
gave one to Lorna, because she wants Lorna to be available to monitor stuff, because Lorna is coming back to the job.
Lorna has a cell phone? Right?
No, tablet.
Oh, a tablet.
So
So
just
is that-
because you see phone numbers there, doesn't necessarily mean that's a phone,
So she has a tablet.
a tablet.
With an air card.
No,
No, it's an iPad Air that has its own phone number. It's like a phone, but you use it for
Yeah.
computer-wise.
Mhm.
There's a lot of places, and I've gone
Where's
to
the tablet
conferences.
now?
Is it Washington DC with her now?
I don't know, that's,
I know it's not even here.
Yeah.
it's not
well,
my
and it's
thing,
not
I
even
don't
in her
care.
department, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, I mean.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but I just,
All of
I
these
just
are
We
being
have,
charged
we
to
have
different
2
departments.
that will be paying for in our department. And those are for when we're at conferences and stuff, because you don't always get the Wi-Fi.
But Ronnie and I did go through there, we
Okay.
went through them all, and she made, you know, we turned off the ones that we
Could
Yeah.
turn off.
were for sure
And
about.
you determined that that $10,000 amount that was in the budget is, that's really roughly
It
what
came
it is.
down, and that
So,
really.
so we've turned off and
Yeah.
we're
So
getting it
you're
smaller.
at 10,000 for that, and we thought that was sufficient to cover that after you and Charlie kind of,
Went through.
Because
Yeah.
before it was 11 or something.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
I can't remember.
I don't think we did anything to it.
Mm. No, I mean, the little changes you made with.
It's
Chuck.
10. It was 10, the preliminary budget's 10,
Oh.
the budget now is 10. The only thing that we did at the last budget meeting on that is we just wanted to look into it, because we were curious, $10,000 for utilities. So Charlie looked into it, with Ronnie and kind of determined that $10,000 is
Mhm.
what they spend on cell phones and stuff.
Because they're on call 24/7. So they're required to have it. And I'll tell you, it's been, because we have also one in the dispatch center where we can send them pictures that they need to know what a person looks like. So, I mean, it's public safety.
Yeah. I think,
I don't know where else to cut this year as far as Board of Prisoners go. We've already had to replace a dryer and a dishwasher. And those are things that we have to have, you know, for in there.
So did you look at, like Jessica said, that the little budget's available in the clerk and report?
I didn't even know that they were there,
Oh,
or I
okay.
would have.
Because there,
I'd get a copy of it, I guess.
so what did we?
well, I know that there, was it capital or was it?
Let's see what we
something-
did. Well, let's go over it.
Yeah.
I guess the thing is that it's just a work in progress at this point, so to, you know, give out budgets to everybody at this point. But, because so this is what we did, or what the commissioners did. So.
They reduced that by 3421. Reduced that
Well,
by
and
10.
this ultimately will be different anyway, and we have no clue what this year holds because there's 2 employees that are taken out of that, actually 3, because we had Adam's wages and part of Cindy's wages and a 6th dispatcher. So this could change dramatically.
It already has. We've already budgeted for all those changes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, every single time, so even the union agreement, so I already have that in the budget. I
Okay.
have the back pay,
And so I
so the
didn't
whole
get any
thing.
of that, and I didn't know that was available.
So, that was reduced by 3421, that was reduced by 10,000. They reduced your supplies to 25.
Okay. I don't know that that'll work, but we'll see what happens.
They reduced, what is this, 330? Your publications, They reduced that to 800. The capital outlay new vehicles, 900, the object code down here,
Right.
they reduced it to 0.
Okay.
So let me just tell you what they did, and then you can.
They reduced the care prisoner salary. I think it was right there.
Okay.
They reduced that by 3,706.
Sell some of this stuff.
3552 medical.
And what about all this?
Next page.
That one I'm gonna probably have to bog that,
That
because we've got a
would
lot
come
in
in.
his
They went
medical.
from 30 to
Not necessarily
28.
having to cut the expenditures, but we could add to their revenue a little bit.
370 travel, they reduced it to 1,000, so from 15 to 1,000.
$500 is $500.
Just
Yeah.
circle them all and
I
then,
was
then
just saying,
talk
why
to them
can't we
about
sell
it.
some of their stuff that they
And
don't
then
need,
training,
like
they
the
reduced it to
razor,
1,000.
the cars that they don't need.
And then,
They probably desperately need.
you wanna look at 911 too?
Well, it would be revenue,
I don't know what that one's gonna do.
would be revenue that would be added to theirs.
I have that one right
So they reduced your capital outlay from 6 to 3.
here. To 3.
That's what they did at the last work session.
Okay. Now, on the salaries, we're still only doing one salary out of that, correct?
They didn't change that. That's all they changed, so that's it. That's what they did at the last work session.
Okay. That I can live with.
That-
I was telling Jessica on the CAD system, I got another quote, and it was 135,000.
That one with the Z.
No, Zertron's the 36,000 a year. The other one was REMS, and that was like, and I'm not sure the exact total, I believe it close to 50,000 a year for maintenance or less, a little bit less maybe. So the best way for us right now, because we have to have a CAD system, is the 36,000 a year.
Hey Jess, where is that at in
The other thing that was brought to my attention by Tim Reed was the mapping
911.
program. That is something that we could do out of Title III if the county attorney could do up a letter to whomever it is for the Title III.
Auditor.
That would allow us to take that mapping stuff, because it is emergency 911 for fire, whatever.
Out of old
Either.
Title III.
Either.
It absolutely could not come out of new, I'm sure of it, but you could always ask the auditors, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I have
That
the
kind of
email
question,
from
it
Tim
depending
Reed.
on which auditor you ask.
To me, that's super cut and dry. The answer's no. But you could ask.
Even though.
Out of new, you could take it out of old.
Yeah, but.
But new is extremely restricted, and it doesn't allow for any mapping or anything like that. It's not allowed. You've been written up for.
But what about the association with fire? I mean, that's the main reason to know
No.
what home to go to evacuate so
No.
they don't burn up.
No.
Really?
no go?
That's
No.
not how I
It's-
interpreted the email that Tim Reed got
Well,
back.
Tim Reed has him and Dwayne have the same philosophy.
No, but what I'm saying is, what he got from the state, who says, bless you, my child, you can have this money.
Yeah, Tim has sent me the same thing, and I have no idea. Is it
What
the
would
same
happen-
email
what
where he
would
says it's
happen-
not even considered federal money and the county can do pretty much whatever they want with it, just get a legal
That's
opinion?
last year paper.
I believe so, but I'm not positive, and
It's completely federal money, it's on the federal schedule for every audit, it has a CFDA number, it's absolutely federal, it comes with all sorts of compliance issues, and it's just simply not an allowed expense. If you wanted to, you could have Charlie send an email to the auditor and confirm that, but I'm pretty darn sure. Like, they
How
did
about three
deny.
auditors and see how we get.
No, yes, it's cut, that one's a cut and dry, really.
So how about we
so if
need
it-
to ask Steve Gaines then to give us the permission?
Well,
Or-
he's working on
Is he?
it. Danes
And
is
Steve
working on it,
Gaines still isn't
supposedly.
gonna override your auditor. I mean, you could have a legal opinion all day long,
Well,
but the auditor is going to write you up or not
I meant
based
a
on
fed- I mean,
what it
compliance.
needs to be done is rewritten at the congressional level.
That's what it
so that
really
you can
needs to
use
be
it.
done.
It's our money.
truly, true that.
I'm not gonna.
Do we have to send it
Preach
back?
again.
It was brought up at the
Do we have to
district
send the money
meeting,
back?
We
and,
don't use it?
and Zinke, Danes,
Yes, but
and
Charlie is working
Tester all
on-
had
What most
representatives
people
there.
use it
What
on
is it?
is it's always, it's fire mitigation. That
they
is
never
what
said
is
it.
allowed
Sand
with new
County,
Title
what are they
III
doing
money.
with
It's
it?
fire
Are they trying to
mitigation.
use it the
So
same
that's
way
what
we'd like
everybody
to, or-
Oh,
uses it on.
they never
You
said.
create all sorts of
It was just
projects
brought
within your
up that
county for
something
fire
needs to be
mitigation.
done with the
Charlie's
Title
working
III
on that.
restriction,
Are you
that
working
it's so
on that?
restricted,
So
you
Charlie,
can't use
the
it.
commissioners have approved to advertise for a fire mitigator type of person that can be paid out of that fund and actually create projects and spend the money. That's what's allowed from new Title III.
We don't like it, it's not fair, we don't, you know,
Well, I
it's,
don't like the
It's
fact
bullshit
that
is what it is.
$24,000 comes out of our 911 budget every year for mapping.
So that could,
That was-
mapping can come out of old. I'm not saying it can't come out of old, but it cannot come out of new.
and the thing with old.
Well, we
I
hardly
think,
have
is-
any old left, so.
Exactly.
I mean, Tim brought me that email too, and.
I'm gonna still send it to Marcia and let her look at it
Yeah.
on that email, so, you know, cause if we can do that, why not?
What, and what's
Sure.
the fine? What would be paid for in a fine if an auditor said you can't do that and we already did it?
Well, if it's over $10,000, then it actually is it would be noticed to the feds and the feds could make you pay it back.
Oh. That's what I mean, that's
Hey,
what I
So if we
thought
did-
about.
It's hard.
So if we did $9,999
Don't
we
get me
could. I'm just asking.
$10,000 is kind of the magic number for unallowed costs.
So on the talk 911 first before we go to this one. The 911 budget, you're okay with where it's at right now with that one cut?
No, no.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, like, you may be here earlier than you should be. Because that's what they that's what they did at the last meeting, but there's still cuts that need to be made, so I don't think that, the commissioners can't say at this time, yeah, we're good with that fund.
Mhm.
That fund is up there, it's upside down right now. You know, the revenue's 103, the expenditures are 118.
Is that because of that CAD stuff you're talking about? Is that a lot of the expense on that one?
The CAD system was $36,000 a year,
But it's coming out of this 911.
yes.
Yeah, it is in that 911.
And is that?
And I can't move, I could take a little bit out of 911 and take a little bit out of the sheriff's budget, but then we're back to square one.
And that's the thing, and this analysis though, like, I don't really wanna look at it by fund like that, I don't. I wanna look at it in total, because really, if we can get the total figure down, we can move money around anyway, you know, I mean,
But,
So-
but like you
so you
said,
don't wanna
the
be-
other one's upside down too, so it matters not.
Mhm.
I mean, the
It-
public safety
it
is
matters
just,
in total is the analysis,
Yeah.
and then you guys just need to figure out where you wanna cut that the 100,000.
So in 2000,
50.
for the 15-16 budget, you said we actually only spent 10,900 in supplies, correct?
Is that what's on there?
Yes.
Okay, that's what it was.
So if we took 3,000 there, every little bit helps, correct?
right, oh yeah. that's
Yeah,
what- And that was why I told Tom.
Are we in
because
911?
Yes.
There's some things we don't know about, like if we cut the mattress thing, then we don't know that actually you gotta add 2 more inches and the mattresses are more, so that's why.
Exactly.
Okay, so which line item?
210.
Supply, so you're at 10,000.
No, I'd say 11,000 at least, or 12. I'd cut it, take off 3,000 off the 15 that we asked. I don't know what numbers you have, I'm going off of my old numbers that we had here, that we had gone through with you. So that's what I have here, I don't have your new stuff. So
Well,
I don't
if
know
we're
what you
gonna-
put
if-
there.
If we're gonna do the budget this way, then I should just give you a copy of the new stuff. So then you can see what we're looking at.
The one
Okay.
that
Yeah.
Stacy has up there.
Yeah. So let me go copy
Yeah,
this,
well,
so
you
that
wanna
way we're
let-
looking at the same numbers.
Well,
Okay.
mine has them, right? I'll just let
Yeah.
her look at this.
Yeah.
Oops.
We do have a time frame though also.
Yeah, that's why I'm
We got-
saying,
This is
you
the-
want us to cut.
This is
and-
the expenditure
And that's what,
side and
yeah.
more law enforcement.
I mean, I think we've done our cuts, I think it
So
should be
what
up
we
to
did-
them now to.
Ronnie, so if you look at the comments, $10,000 is
Wait.
what,
This one, he's in the public safety one.
so go to the next, it's in numerical order, go to 2850.
I think that's more money data processing, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's an additional 15.
Okay.
So if you look at the, go to 210, you'll see comments. Tom Bauer said that you could do 10,000,
Okay.
and then 5,000 was moved to equipment repairs.
For
Because,
911?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, that's what was discussed. So we moved 5,000. So you have the, if you look down at 911 and 361, you have equipment repairs and maintenance,
Yeah.
and $5,000 moved from supplies. So that's what we did. That's how that's how, because they actually didn't cut those numbers since, because the only thing they did in 911 since you and Tom were here last was, I think, that $3,000.
Okay. I guess I'm confused because you didn't say a word about that.
I have, it's,
I'll talk to him about that.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's just, all of the changes that were done, we went line by line, we did all of this stuff, and then it was input.
So what's the grand total that we're cutting out of our budget, I guess?
They haven't decided yet. That's the number. But how they're gonna allocate that, they need to decide.
I guess when you guys know the number, let me know so I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I thought we were discussing and cutting and whatever today. I didn't realize we were not doing anything, so.
Well, first the commissioners need to, I mean, I think first the commissioners need to take a bigger picture approach and say, okay, 20,000 from the library, let's do 80,000 from here, or 10,000 from here, or something like that. I mean, we've already been line item by line item
Right.
twice. So now they just have to make the big decision at this point. And then, I'm thinking, and then at that point, the department heads, maybe, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but maybe at that point, then the department heads can decide where they wanna decrease it.
Okay.
But I'm not sure how they're gonna go about it. I don't know.
Okay.
Let me know. Thanks. But you're more than welcome to sit here and have input, but you can't, you need to get going.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
I'm paying overtime for a person
Okay.
that's now 2 hours, so. Thanks.
Okay, Jess?
Yes, ma'am.
So I sat down yesterday with the,
Data processing people?
yeah. And, I think we can cut some more money from hardware.
Are you sure? Like, I think we've cut the heck out of it.
I know.
What page are you on?
Page 5. I think supplies, we can cut 3 more off.
You're at 20,000 for hardware? There's no way. You should go
Mhm.
lower. I mean, I guess it's not my call. It's your thing.
Well, I kind of looked at it and I talked with DIS, and there's some hardware that we're just not gonna be able to do this year. So maybe if we leave that one and cut 3 from supplies, cut 500 from utilities, and cut 2,500 from consultant services.
Whatever. I
So
mean,
3 from supplies,
so you want to do that?
yep.
Okay, so when you say cut 3, so just tell me the ending budget.
2,000. 1,000 for utilities,
So why utilities are going down?
because there shouldn't be anything coming out of there.
Well, let's look at what it is. What is it?
All of a
Is she
sudden,
allocating some sort of phone to it?
No, there should be nothing
Well, let's go see what it
being
is.
allocated there.
So you're saying, what, Charlie?
Cut,
210 supplies to 2,000.
because when I talked with Josh when he was here, he said we shouldn't need anything
Okay.
for.
Did you want to cut hardware too?
No, now you've got me second guessing, so I want to check it again.
Okay.
But I can check it and then, take the utilities 340 down to 1,000,
And that's
but we're
the,
going to look at that right now.
okay. Let's look at that. If nothing's supposed to be there, then really it should just be 0.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see.
Oops. I want an account query, right?
Yeah, but no, yeah, account query, but no ending balance. And then you can cross over years, but just go 0715 to 616.
Why did it do that?
Oh, we did an account summary query instead of the detailed ledger query. So, on another note, I think we have to give Nicole a raise. Yeah.
I
She
think
has a
I'm
whole,
smoking something.
no, she has a whole new
Where'd my
position.
thing
She
go?
has tons of responsibility.
I agree, but I just,
You gave Emily a raise? She was hired at a rate? She
yeah,
got
but that
it.
was in the minutes. Had we have put something in the minutes
Yeah.
and said after 6 months that we would have given her, then we,
She desperately needs a raise.
Oh, I
She's
know she
so
does.
low paid compared to, say, other people that she does, and she does way more stuff. And I think you could argue because it's a totally new position, you know.
But one that wasn't advertised for.
Yeah, I don't know, that's a Charlie thing.
We just pulled her out. I mean,
And
Yeah.
we'd have that sheriff's department sitting right here
Yeah.
going, this is the
All
same
right,
thing
then.
that you did
well,
last year.
I'm hoping maybe next year we can maybe compensate, make up for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I did talk to Harold at the Mako convention about the $2,000. And, there
I don't know what
is
the problem
some elected officials that are getting it that probably don't need to be getting it now.
How do you take it back?
You can, Harold said you can.
Tell Harold to go.
No, they did it in Madison County. But
Could
I
do
did
that.
ask him about the commissioners because I was gonna give mine up and he said, statutes, it says the commissioners shall. He says you cannot touch that one.
I disagree with that.
Let me go get the statute. I asked Harold.
Let me get the statute. I have it. I'm pretty sure there's only one that's a shall.
Yeah, I asked Harold and so.
I don't know what's going
Hey.
on here.
I don't
I don't know, I just,
think that we can look anybody in the eye
yeah, I know.
and give her a $1 raise when we're laying people off.
Mm-mm. No.
And we're gonna be right back to the Lorna.
Well, that, it's not just Nicole. There's
there's lots of people.
There's
yeah.
other ones
Yep,
that are
you're
underpaid for
absolutely
the amount
right.
of work that they do,
Yep.
and,
The reality of this is that we're a poor county, and when the federal government can dictate
Okay,
downright
now-
to Title III money, what the hell we can spend that money on?
did you do any more calling on that? What was it, that local
area tax.
option tax?
I got some serious problems going on here with this.
The Sanders County, Lake County, Missoula County, they've got this, this local option tax. And I
Yeah,
don't know
they
if it's
just-
on the, there's one, the local option fuel tax, which is, you can do 1% or 2% on gasoline. Which, I mean, it's revenue to the county. I mean, you know, if it's,
I don't remember, because Roman looked into that once
Yeah.
before, remember?
yeah, but it's,
I
I've
don't
got
remember
the.
what there was a reason that we didn't do it.
Well, I think Roman was thinking that the diesel, it's only gasoline, and he was thinking diesel, you know, because of the town pump, but even gasoline, I mean,
Yeah. Well, it certainly wouldn't hurt.
it would be revenue
Put-
coming in.
Put $1,000 in there. to-
Well, yeah, I mean. Where's my paperwork on that? I have the statute stuff here.
Yeah, there was some stuff coded incorrectly on that one budget line item, on 340, on utilities. Wasn't coded correctly.
Oh, it might be, there's a piece of paper
Okay,
in my.
let's see what the
pickup.
statute says. I
Okay.
definitely could be wrong, but.
No, I specifically asked Harold that. And he said, no, the commissioner said shall.
I thought it was only the. It wasn't
And there's the only ones that says shall.
Well, I'll tell you something I've always been a big advocate of, and of course nobody else ever seems to grasp onto it, is bonuses.
Mhm. You have so much to do, and at the end of the year, yeah, do what you're supposed to.
But then who decides that, or who?
We do. Just like we would decide $1 or
Yeah.
What am I missing if I get coffee? You're not talking, Charlie. Are you feeling okay today?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm getting old.
But you didn't sleep in today.
I didn't. Nope, I got up at 5.
I think that was a master plan. I get on Facebook, Roman, and everybody's taking their kid to school. What the hell?
Yeah,
Nobody took me to school when I was
yeah. You had to walk uphill both ways in the snow.
in really deep snow.
Well, I didn't take them to school. It was their first day of school, but they had practice at 6.
Oh, really?
So they were at practice at 6, so I got up at like 4:30 yesterday, and then I woke up with a killer migraine, and it was my birthday yesterday.
Oh, cool. Well,
So-
happy birthday.
Well, thank you. So I thought, oh crap, I'm going in late.
I got you a present. I left it at home.
Yeah, right next to
So
your
Ronnie
binder.
left. I see. What, did I miss any important dialogue before she left?
No, she just has somebody working that's on overtime, so she.
So for a full-time person, it does say shall. Part-time, it doesn't say. It just says that you should be prorated based on the
So
clerk and
it's, so
recorder.
shall for all the ones that receive it are full-time except us. So shall.
No. So for all of the different departments, so, like, let's see. The county treasurer, clerk of district court, and justice of the peace may receive.
Mhm.
The county coroner could be a part-time position. So I don't, for full-time, it does say shall. So I'm staying corrected. For part-time, don't know. Yeah. But that's kind of a. I don't know, something you guys can look at. What is utilities?
It was stuff that was miscoded.
So utilities should be 0.
Yeah.
Okay. So for supplies, we went to 2,000.
Mhm.
Utilities, we went to 0. What
Yeah.
else did you have?
And consultant services, I think we can go to 2,500.
What page are you guys on now? I
5.
took my book back from Ronnie, page 5 on expenditures.
What do you think about? I think we really need to
And I think, that'll,
take
I
some
mean,
of
it'll help,
these and put
Yeah.
into
but.
the planning board, don't you?
So he has 2 offices, the planning board and the health and sanitation, so
It's still, even with the 2 combined, it's still less than,
it's 9.8 now.
they get
Oh.
this.
Oh, and you're looking at the library?
Yeah, they get 7
Mhm.
and that's 2 offices don't even get that.
Oh, look at this.
So
Should
I'm
we pull up the
thinking we
Excel
need to take
spreadsheet again?
and give the planning office
For the maps, I mean?
mills.
Or for,
No, take some mills from the library
yeah, and
and
give
give to the planning.
for what, for the mapping?
Well, I mean,
What's the
just
need for him? What, does he have a need?
Other than he's
other
20,000.
than he's,
Oh,
But
so there,
I wouldn't even, look at this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where do you want to go? That one?
Next
That one.
That one. So right now, so like that discussion about, well, let's move 2 mills from here to there.
Mhm.
well, I know it's not gonna make difference in the big picture.
Right,
But
but what we really want to focus on is we want to focus on just expenditures, and then we'll move all of the mills how they need to be.
After we're done with the bottom line?
Because we'll move then you just make it balance, right?
Okay.
So the focus is on expenditure. So if you guys think the library should be cut, look at that next tab, Charlie. So on the library, you can see I kind of did a trend for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people were telling me, we only used to give the library
Oh, yeah.
40,000. So I'm like, let's see. And I didn't really find that true. The library, it looks like at their
Yeah.
lowest.
They used to get 60 in '06.
now they're up to 73,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, but that's a trend. So you can see, some history there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So wasn't there talk at one time about them having their, like a mill levy vote to,
To do their library?
yeah.
I don't know, not since I've been here. Are they
I've heard-
thinking about doing
I
that?
don't know if they're thinking about it, but doesn't that free up those mills then that would have been allocated to them?
Oh, sure. Yeah, if they were to get that passed, then we could use yes. Yep, we could move all of those mills to somewhere else. Yes.
So really what you're saying is they just need to start saying, cut 20,000 from the general, cut, whatever.
Right. And not even by a fund, like you don't need to look at it by fund, just that total number. Because we can move those mills around however we need to. So, that's just based on prior years. Take that and then take it out.
And then allocate the mills accordingly.
So you said we're at a number here that we're looking for today, somewhere between 78 and 150 or something. So what is the?
So it's 78,000. We should end up at the end of the year with the same amount of cash we had at the beginning. Which is not going in the right direction.
Not starting the build up.
If they protest those taxes, it's not enough for us to
Yeah,
Right on.
that's like the bare minimum, right? So we shouldn't, that would be the bare minimum. Our beginning cash should be roughly our ending cash. But if we wanna do a really good job
Start
We want
building it up,
and start moving in the right direction,
then we
so-
wanna do 150,000.
Yeah,
And to get to 150,000, we can sit here and look at every little thing, but what that boils down to is full-time positions somewhere. I mean,
it does.
obviously, probably in the sheriff's department.
Right, and then the other thing too, so that's the difference between the 78 and the 151. The other thing, why I think the 151 is so important, well, I guess, no, that's fine, what we said was good. 78 and 151 would be great. Yeah, so I think you guys, at this point, it's like bigger picture time, like decisions versus line item stuff. And the trends kind of help, like if you go to that last tab, Charlie. Like, you can look at public safety, look at it. So the proposed budget this year is 946, but look at how it's
Yeah,
grown.
yeah, I mean,
Jesus.
we always end up back here because he doesn't have that extra couple, $300,000 to fall back on that a
Right,
public safety levy might get him.
right,
It,
right. But if you look at the trend, I mean, really, just 4 years ago, 5 years ago, they were at 702,000. So they're up $246,000 from 5 years ago.
Yeah, so how many? Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't
Well-
know what that is, it has to be employee count.
Yeah, it's the number of deputies that, I mean, we don't have enough law enforcement, but yet you read around and there's counties in Oregon that are actually telling their folks, don't move here.
Lake
Yeah,
County
we
is-
don't have,
they're-
we don't have the law enforcement to protect you if you move here. I mean, we're dedicated to have law enforcement, but at what level?
At what level?
Yeah, and what level can we afford?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a really, I think that's a super valid question.
Yeah.
Do we need a police officer on every corner? No. Like,
Yeah.
where's that fine line? What's affordable, what can we afford?
Do we need 3 officers on duty at 9 to 5?
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, they're always the whipping boy, but they're also the largest
Yeah.
number up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough, I hope I didn't unplug you.
Nope.
It's a tough deal because you just get them to where they feel comfortable and we feel comfortable. And then, well, once again, we don't have any money. I mean, I remember when Hugh was, when I was first elected, Hugh was sheriff, we did some cuts there. We actually sent him memos saying no overtime without commissioner approval.
Well, that's in the,
That was actually done,
it's in the
I think, and the overtime, that's an issue for them. I mean, if you look at their overtime, even at that last year's budget, which was, pretty good size, they still had, what did we say, like 75,000 in overtime between the
Yeah.
three? And I think that's because they weren't efficient. I mean, you have 10-hour shifts, so you're crossing over,
That's it.
quite a few inefficiencies, but, the other areas that just pop into that I can think of right off the top is the JP, 3 clerks.
Mhm.
That's a lot for a county our size. District court, like maybe a part-time deputy, maybe a part-time or part-time clerk in the clerk and recorder's office. Those are just the ones, I mean, that's
Yeah.
just ideas for
We've
you.
already got Mary telling us that she can't do it with 3.
Well, She should be able to.
Well, at
Should be.
Mako, I mean, they were saying, we got into the treasurer's office and, you know, I know it would be a big adjustment, but you don't actually have to have a vehicle registration in the treasurer's office. That all vehicle registrations can be online now. All you get your little card in the mail to re-register your vehicle. You just send your money to the state and they send you your tabs.
That'd be easy.
For us, but does,
Well,
older
But
people have a
still,
hard
well,
time.
that's it, you
The
know,
older
it'll
people, I mean,
be,
they don't even mail it, they like to come in
Yeah.
still, chat a little bit.
and that's what it would be
Yeah.
a real hardship on our area. I can see maybe the bigger, you know,
Mhm.
bigger places and stuff
And there's still
that
those,
actually do it, but,
and there's still those special needs, like
yeah, well, yeah.
the loggers that come in and wanna pay just for a quarter of the year,
Yeah.
or prorated, or.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, the district court clerk could be part-time helper and then also be part-time in JP court.
And I was talking to Charlie about it a little bit, but that's where you get into that whole bumping thing, which is the most efficient way to do it, but I guess we can't do it since
We don't
it's
have
not
a
in our
policy.
policy. So I don't
So maybe
really,
we need to develop a policy though. I mean, we
Yes,
don't
sir.
have that policy right now,
Yes, 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 yes. Yep.
yeah, I mean,
but it
so it,
definitely helps.
I don't know how to facilitate it, like that would make great sense, right?
Well,
Like we could go,
Yeah.
So
I
work
think it's-
but
part-time
how
in
can
one
you make
office
that
and
work? I
part-time
don't
in
know.
another office.
Well, and instead of you guys sitting here deciding that and making that decision, I think you guys just need to, make the cuts, make the hard decisions, and then let those.
but it would be nice to know how it will unfold, so
Mhm.
like, that's it, nothing unfolds, there's no bumping.
Mhm.
So if somebody doesn't wanna work 20 hours, then that person would leave. And then that 20-hour position could be advertised in-house, and then that other person could apply for it, and now they're
Mhm.
full-time again.
Mhm.
That's the only way, right?
Mhm.
That's just, yeah.
It's not a very efficient
That's
way of
just-
doing
No,
it,
it's
but.
not at all.
it's
It's
horrible.
government is what it
I hate
is.
it, yeah,
It drives
because-
me nuts.
Me too, it drives me so nuts.
I'm not saying that we can run like an efficient business every day of the week because there are things that say we
But
can't,
that's just-
but
Well, I'll talk to Mako and county attorney
Yeah.
and figure out how to, facilitate a bumping policy, so that way we have it for, it's not gonna help us now, but
yeah,
we
at
can
least in
definitely
the
get it,
future, we
we
could,
can get it done. Mhm.
And then the other thing to work on, I think would be helpful, is that, like payroll matrix too. I know it's on your list,
Yeah.
but that's super important, like especially when I'm talking about Nicole.
Mhm.
Like, it would be very beneficial
Mhm.
for the county to have.
Mhm.
What do you think about the bonuses rather than a rate
For,
for any employee? I mean,
see, I think it all has to be equitable, doesn't it? Because we're at a government, so
I'll ask.
I don't know.
I mean, I love bonuses. I think bonuses are the best thing ever, right?
I do.
Because then you reward great
Yep.
performance. I mean,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do it, if it's not equitable.
The thing is that I know that one of the things we'd have to do is step up our evaluation processes. Like, you would have to have some kind of a way of tracking.
Who
well,
was doing a good
Not just
job?
because you like me more,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
who's doing.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe if you had that, but you're working on that too.
Yes.
Yeah, because we don't really do evaluations, and
Yeah.
that's on Charlie's to-do list. One of her many things.
And the biggest thing is ensuring that each employee has a job description or an expectation of what their duties are. Because if you ask employees, a lot of them will say, "Oh, I don't know, I've never even seen my job description before." Which that may or may not be true, and maybe they were given one at the beginning when they were first hired, I don't know. But I know, like, in the county attorney's office, I was given my job description, so I know. But getting those out to departments and making sure that employees are aware of what those expectations are.
Could you print me off a sheet of this one? I think this would be important.
It's in your binder.
You have
Okay,
it.
I need to give that to Ronnie and Tom, so they can see that.
Oh, this one? Did I
Here.
give him that one?
Yeah, we have
I did.
it.
Okay. And I'm trying to think back, I think that back in '06, I think we had the same amount of deputies. I think we had Toth and Polich and Johnson and Hopwood and Boone and, I don't know, I'm trying to think. But I know that the scheduling was much different, you know. In the daytime, it'd be like, Mickey and Anita were day shift, or Anita and Hugh,
Mhm.
and then the other guys were the night shift.
Mhm.
Like 10, we dropped it clear to 7-11.
Mm-hmm.
And this,
Good, 11.
And then, yeah, and 12. Yeah, what,
this not being able to use reserve deputies, it was like, the reserve deputies were only used in certain, you know, like for the fair or whatever, so they're not really,
They're not
they're not.
supplanting a shift.
No, they're not,
Yeah.
it's just, certain instances that they need a reserve desk, so they're not really fulfilling somebody's
Right.
position.
and what you're gonna see, I mean, what we saw in the past, you know, when you chop that public safety is, we had, one of our big complaints when I was first elected was them setting out on the freeway all the time when that's actually highway patrol job, you know, and they would sit out there. Well, when we cut their budget, then they were sitting over in the bank parking lot spitting sunflower seeds. I mean, that's a fact, and dispatch
Oh,
was,
they-
yeah, and dispatch was telling people when they called in, we don't have anyone on, sorry, we can't respond.
Well, that's what's
And that's
happening.
exactly what they were doing.
Wasn't there
I
a
mean,
time when Sean wrote an email or something and said that they weren't allowed to patrol the highways, or?
Well,
I think that was at the
I
same
don't
time.
remember if he
I
mandated
don't
it,
know.
but he strongly suggested that you're spending way too much time out there on the,
Mhm.
you know, you're burning fuel and
One of them, was it Hugh? That they weren't even allowed to go on the highway.
yeah, that was you.
Yeah, I mean, don't even spend your time on the highway, you know? If you're gonna go to St. Regis, take the back road or whatever, so, but anyway, so somebody had mentioned that too, but,
And that's a catch-22 also, because then they're not getting as much revenue.
Yeah,
And
that's,
then they're not
that was
getting
the
as
other
much
thing,
drug.
tickets went from
Yeah.
way up here to zero.
yeah, we're
I
just
mean,
not,
zero.
yeah.
It-
But yeah, I mean, I think the idea is that when you're not taking a call, patrol Saltese or Hagen or Alberton, so that people know that you can't just break into the garage and steal a chainsaw without a cop maybe driving by once in a while, you know.
Yeah, that's what I would think they would be doing
Mhm.
now, right? I
I
mean, if
think
they're not
that-
taking a call, are they patrolling?
I think that they are, I see them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
I
see
see
'em
them,
around,
yeah,
too.
we see them
Might
around
be
a
two of
lot.
them at a time, and you're wondering why, but
Yeah.
it,
Well, yeah, yeah. I think they're driving around now, but,
I think he's got a pretty good bunch, I mean, I hate to see
I do too,
Yeah.
actually.
yeah.
it,
I think he has a good group of people.
Mhm. I agree.
Yeah, and
But-
some of this could just be the cost of doing business. You got more cost for, well, fuel's going down now, I can't say fuel currently, but care of prisoners and their medicine, and then,
Well, and you have to have a dishwasher because, you know, there are standards that they have to meet for cleaning utensils and cleaning everything, and then the
and the
ACLU
meal,
gets
well,
involved
the
in the
meals are going up, you
mattresses.
know, meals are going up.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just, but yeah, there, it does seem like we could trim a little bit more, 'cause, yeah, me and you were both here, Dwayne, in 12 and 13
Yeah.
and 14 and 15, look at how much,
yeah, look at what it's gone to, I mean,
Mhm.
from 11, it's went up 300,000.
Do we want to talk about the library first? Maybe we'll look at some of the. Are you guys thinking about cutting the library?
probably.
Yeah, do you wanna give me an amount, or?
Probably gotta start with 10,000, huh?
That's what I was thinking. I mean, clear back over there, they're at 60, 63, 66, 60.
Okay.
Put them back at
Oh, you're still.
63 something.
Why don't you need to run like a little tally on how we're doing? I can do it on the.
I can do it here.
Right.
On the library, we're gonna do 10.
Look at what happened. Oh, you went like that instead. Just put 10 in there.
Oh, just do 10.
Yeah. Yeah. And then let me figure out what we did in the general fund. We did, in the general fund, can you add, will you add?
Yep.
3,000,
Oops.
1,500, 2,500. Yeah.
Well, and I could cut, I mean, I really don't anticipate any more supplies, sincerely.
You are
And I can like cut another 1,000 from that. I mean, really, we don't need anything. We bought a lot last year. We've got lots of stuff left. I buy my own pens because I'm a pen snob.
We always confiscate when we go to the Mako.
I know it.
Yeah, we
I
have to start
bring
getting
back as many
I
all
was
the like,
terrible.
free supplies that we
Pretty
can.
soon those tables, they start looking at you like,
Yeah.
didn't that vulture just circle
Yeah.
here a minute ago?
Yeah, so I can cut another 1,000 from there. I'm
I
okay
do
with
that
that.
with the chapstick.
Really?
I've got a whole bowl
What
at
page?
home of chapstick.
Page 1.
Page 1. Supplies going to 1,000.
Yeah,
All right.
really, it's
How
fine.
about county attorney? Are we doing anything?
I think we better leave that alone until
Just leave it just the same.
until
Okay.
we know what's gonna happen
Okay.
with that. And if everybody would just be good, our legal services can go down a little bit, hopefully.
If I wouldn't
well,
bank on
that's
that
so-
though.
I know, I'm.
We
No, I
can't.
wouldn't.
Leave it
We
there.
can't.
You're a government. It's like,
Yeah.
it's
What about travel?
expected.
Can we
It's-
go down and travel at all?
What
I
do we
mean-
got in travel?
We've got 3,000 in travel,
Okay, well, let's see, what's it gonna cost? Let's see.
Where you at?
line 370.
On
Page 1.
page-
Okay, what's it gonna, so, what's it gonna cost me to go to convention in a week?
How many miles is it to Billings?
Where's my phone? Let me find out.
500-600, isn't it?
I have a sheet somewhere.
I'll Google it.
That's what I always do.
So, what else?
Well, I think I think we're down to the JP and the
400
district
miles.
court. Did we decide on what we want to do in public safety really even? Are we gonna,
I'm almost thinking that's
$216
maybe the default.
for mileage.
Like that would be the balance.
One way.
So
I
say
don't know how you guys
500,
want to go about it.
right?
Mhm.
Okay, then you got the motel.
Mhm. It'll cost less than 1,000 for you to go to convention.
Right,
Mhm.
okay. But then you've got midwinter,
Mhm.
which probably,
Is in
that'll be in
Helena.
Helena, so, and I'm assuming Roman will go to that one. 'cause
So I
he-
think if we leave it both at 1,000, so if Roman goes to the Helena one, probably be 500 apiece. You guys can ride together. Be nice. No, you can't. No, you can't.
no? Well, you
can't ride
could.
together.
You could. You'd have to post
If we
it.
posted it and I rode along in the back.
Or just just tape her mouth shut
Yeah.
so we can't
Yeah.
talk on the way.
And have it, yeah.
Put a
And
dash
video
cam.
record yourself.
Yeah, dash cam and.
Yeah, your dash cam, yeah.
So 1,000 we can take from there.
So what,
From travel?
what's in there right now?
3,000.
Oh, yeah. Just
Go to
leave it
2?
2,000.
Okay.
Hit enter.
There, we cut 9. All right, I don't think we can pillage anymore from ours.
What do we have in there for legal?
For legal, we have 40.
40. I hope that's enough.
When I said county attorney and you said leave it, I wasn't talking legal, I was talking like the county attorney's payroll. What
Yeah.
did you guys, leave it?
Leave it.
Okay.
I'm not sure because,
Did you ever find out what the base pay on that was?
yeah, I found out what the base pay was. I have it, I'll go get it.
Did you guys hire somebody already, or appoint, or how does,
We appointed.
You did?
Adam
at a certain rate?
Missoula,
Yeah.
at $50
Okay.
an hour.
For the interim,
Just for the interim, no benefits.
kind of
Oh.
a contractor type.
So that's through the end of her term? And then he would
No,
run?
it's just till we hire, because now we have to
Oh,
advertise.
so we could end up hiring him, he'll apply.
He
maybe-
didn't, he wasn't sure.
Oh, he wasn't even sure, he really is
He
maybe
thought
just an,
so.
okay.
But did you read that article? He's also running for what, JP or something in Missoula?
Well,
Oh,
I
is
don't
he?
know. Is he doing that now or?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so
So
hard
I
to
don't
say
know.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard to
Okay,
say.
so
But
he's just
anyway,
our
it's just an
interim.
interim,
And then be,
and
okay,
then we gotta advertise,
okay,
and then
But
Kathleen.
we thought we ought to have somebody in place just to.
immediate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good though, that's,
Yeah.
okay, good.
And we tried to,
For some reason, I was thinking you appointed him, but not the case. Can't you just appoint?
Well, we appointed him, well, just as an interim. Well, yeah, no, we have to advertise for a,
And then you appoint?
and then we'll appoint.
On a-
And
through the end of
we'll
the
set
term.
up Kathleen's gonna, I kinda asked her to set up a board, an interview board, of
I see.
people, then we'll
That know, yeah.
interview county attorney, or attorneys, and then we'll appoint a county attorney to fill
Mhm.
Marcia's position until the next election.
I see.
You gotta finish the end of her 2-year, she has 2 years left in her term.
I see.
And then that person would. have
Could
to
run.
Would have to.
Okay.
But one thing is,
Yeah.
we'll save a little bit, not much, but longevity and whatever else. The new attorney
Yeah.
would not get the same rate of pay exactly because of the
Right,
time would be less.
right.
Okay, so we figured out the library?
They
10.
did 10,000.
Or
Yeah.
just let them decide where they're gonna do it in
Yes,
books
and-
or in whatever?
And I'm gonna give them, we'll have Charlie send an email to them. But I need to know by, I guess we'll say Tuesday at 5. Where they want to take that from.
Mhm.
Guess that should give me, then I can,
Yeah, and this,
I think when we send email, I think it'd be helpful for them to see, we should provide a copy of this, or at least just their line
Yeah,
of
yeah, I
each
mean,
year.
could you-
Because
could
when
you-
everybody squawks,
like
they're
that-
gonna-
oh, on that other one.
that sheet, yeah,
Yeah,
could we send
because
a sheet like
it
that with
shows
each one
the
where we cut it?
increases.
Say, hey,
Yeah,
this is
Yeah.
where we're at.
yeah,
because,
There was a time.
you know,
that it
and-
worked.
And they don't have some of the, like we're talking about the sheriff's office again, they have mandate, I mean, just like the stupid mandate that they have a CAD system or a new radio that's ultra-high frequency or what, I mean, we just can't, I mean, the government mandates sometimes bump up our costs that we were looking at. that we don't even have any control over.
Mhm.
It's just, the feds say you have to now because
Right.
that's what I hate, is that we're being forced, and like the schools have the same thing happen to them, you know, you have to have a counselor, now you have to have a certified counselor on the playground, or now you have to have a whatever. How do we?
Yeah, and then how
keep
do you
up with
fund
it?
it, right?
But the library, I don't think has any mandates like that. That cost going up is just more books or more computers or more whatever. And okay, on to the next, huh?
How about the weed?
Well, his actually went down. When you go back to that thing, he's less than he was 8 years ago by $10,000 or $12,000.
That's true. But I guess I look at that and I guess I don't know, just to throw it out there, it's like with the essential, non-essential, you know, that
Mhm.
that whole argument.
So he gets 2
And I
voted
think he-
mills,
He does get 2 voted
And-
mills.
and then the rest of the mills, what are we giving him for the balance?
Well, so if you look at this other sheet, here, if you look at, and this is primarily because of that coding error, because otherwise Dave is very,
Efficient.
very budget efficient. Mhm.
Speaking of some of the coding areas, like the one about the transportation fund, the retirement fund from the schools being misallocated, why didn't the audits catch that?
School. So, and it's an agency fund, so when you audit a county, we, auditors don't look at the money that's passed through to fire departments or schools or whatever.
Mhm.
Those are agency funds and it doesn't matter.
Agency funds versus the county, huh?
Yes, it's an agency fund, and the agency fund, it has cash and due to others, that's it.
So the county fund doesn't keep track of like that, like the state entitlement money was kept track of.
So that hit our
That-
county funds, and that's why it pulled up, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, if all of the money was just given to the hospital, we never would have looked at it at all. But because it's countywide, so it hits the general fund, and it was all in all sorts of different funds, and because of the amount, because it's a higher dollar amount, it's looked at. And then at that point is when you're like, well, wait, why is it, you know, then you start looking at it, you dive into it, and you're like, none of it, you know, really makes
So
sense.
when the misallocation for the retirement transportation fund occurred, that was coming out of the county, but which fund in the county?
No, it has no effect on the county whatsoever. So it's a countywide, so
So then why is that hurting the county's budget then?
it's not. My email says it is not affecting the
Oh,
county
that is,
budget
oh, okay,
at all.
Everybody that we,
okay.
That's what my email said. It
So
has
who is
no
it?
effect on the
So
county.
who's saving the money on that being corrected?
So the taxpayers will,
Oh, okay.
but it has no benefit to us.
Oh,
The
okay.
county entity, but the taxpayers, so what was happening is the schools, what's supposed to happen is the schools send in their budgets. And then the treasurer, she determines what needs to be levied in transportation and retirement. That's a countywide levy.
And it
So
can
the
go
whole-
up without any voter approval?
Yes, it's a permissive. And so the whole county pays. And then what happens is then you're supposed to distribute what they budgeted.
Mhm.
So, and what was happening is, so you determine that amount, you determine a mill, and you levy that mill. But there's other money that goes into that fund, forest reserve.
Mhm.
Portion of forest reserves goes into transportation and retirement, and that wasn't being accounted for. So you'd get an extra $100,000, and it was being distributed.
Mhm.
And it, so I had 2 auditors call me last, like in, I don't know, January or so. Why are they getting like $130,000 more than what they budgeted? So it was just being distributed, so they had all of this extra money in those funds. So it was just, so I decided, I'm like, well, we need to fix it now. So all of those 3 schools are sending the money back. So that way, when we levy our mills in a couple weeks, we will levy the correct amount. And so the taxpayers will be way less because we're gonna have all this money. So we're gonna have like a bonus year as a taxpayer, so like, oh, I don't have to.
Mhm.
But the other thing that it will do is it will keep the mills like from going like this, you know, for the schools. It should be much more consistent.
Stable, yeah.
Good.
But that's,
Okay.
but no effect on us. It
Okay.
didn't help us one
Okay, it
bit.
was just, the role of the treasurer for collecting the permissive levies and then distributing them, and it was out of whack on that level. Nothing to do with our county general fund.
That's correct,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Hmm.
But look at the weed. So with his 2 mills that he gets, it's not gonna be enough. So either we have to, that's why I'm saying we need to look at the weed. And kind of look at it by, separately as its own fund, I guess. Because right now it is kind of its own fund. It's not really lumped together because it's those 2 voted mills. We don't normally move mills, you know, to it. But you're gonna have to. We're gonna actually have to give the weed, like some of our county mills, to get it flush, or you're gonna have to cut their budget. So that's a decision that needs to
So
be
we might have to
made.
give them half a mil.
Yeah,
Or
like 3/4 or
whatever,
something.
yeah.
To get him flush.
Mhm.
And really, the reason why he's off there, it's because of that, remember that double booking of revenue that I was telling you guys about?
Mhm.
Do you remember, and I was thinking we should maybe fix it from Pilt, and you're like, no, let's not. We'll
Let him realize the mistake.
So you could look at his budget. I mean, I don't know, like, if he needs that assistant that he has, or, you know, he has that other part-time weed sprayer. I don't know, I don't really know exactly what he does.
Mhm.
I know they sell chemicals.
So how much would you look at cutting from his budget?
It all depends, right? So you have that -7,000. So you could give them, you know, you could cut 5,000 and give them 3,000.
Mhm.
You could do it any way you wanted to.
So on the county attorney salary,
Yeah.
I think the base for the county attorney salary is like 88,000.
We'll just leave it.
I think you should just leave it.
Yeah. Cause that $50. Well, it's probably about the same.
There is some cost savings from current secretary and former. I don't know if that's been figured in.
Yeah, we're 7
didn't.
months.
Mhm.
I didn't change it.
Yeah.
I wonder if Dave's in today, should we call him and see? I mean, I know he's only being paid part-time out of the weed too.
Yeah, I can tell you how much.
Yeah. And then, I wonder how many, can you tell how many hours he used as helper on the spray
How much was actually used?
for the other employee?
So, let's see here. Like 270 hours.
Mhm.
That's is what they budget. And,
2,800 bucks or $3,000.
yep, like 3,100
Mhm.
plus some additional costs, so it's like probably 5,000. No, not that much, 4,000.
Well, what are your ideas?
That I already told you, I think.
You mean, the.
For,
cut
specifically for weed?
Yes.
I don't know weed enough. I know more of the internal departments, but,
Mhm.
hold on, let's look at his budget. So you guys could look at like page 11, it's the weed budget.
Pardon me?
You could look at page 11. The weed budget. And I don't know, supplies. You could decrease you could decrease the part-time person. Supplies 210. You could have him not purchase as much, chemicals maybe, that's kind of an offset, because then revenues decrease.
Meals to the sheriff's office from Durango's. Why are we buying this stuff?
Purchase services.
Yeah, what is that?
Oh, is that when he
We're
contracts with that guy out of Butte to spray the
Oh, I
highway?
bet it is,
That's what it was, yeah.
Mhm.
because that's always bid, that's the difference in it.
Mhm.
Or you could just give him a little, give him 3/4 of a mil this year.
Yeah, it's probably the easiest, with like you said, he runs a pretty good
Pretty
outfit already.
Yeah. So that's good, let's make that decision then.
Okay.
So that, yeah.
Give him 0.7 mil,
Yeah. Or whatever it is to get him
okay,
to zero. Right?
right.
Do you wanna, how about supplies though? Oh, I don't,
Didn't we cut supplies already? It's down
Yeah.
to 20.
okay.
Well,
Maybe.
six.
It's probably pretty
5.
darn tight. It's, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
because he
So
was at
give
5 and
Mills-
now he's done at 2,500.
okay.
Yeah.
So we'll give Mills to balance him.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we're back at big picture stuff, but we had to take care of the weed, because that's a little bit different because it's voted.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, did the library, did the weed,
We didn't do anything to the weed except we.
right, but I
yeah.
mean.
Yeah, so we're
going
back
down
here,
the-
so now we're back to that one.
Emergency 911.
I don't know what you can cut from there.
I think we're still in the general fund, making cuts in the general fund.
Anything in the 911 emergency, we could sure look at it. There's one employee paid out of there right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's that 36,000, that new 36,000.
Mm-hmm.
GIS, dispatch thing that's getting us. So 911's 2850,
What page number are they?
page 25.
Okay. They've got supplies of 10,000, huh? Is that because they have to buy that? Are they buying
No, that's
something?
under, contract services, that's 398.
Oh. Move to equipment repairs.
Yeah, so that's what, so
Well,
we actually, we decreased it by 10,000, so,
Mhm.
you know, and then, but then really we added, so they only went down really 5,000. Because they moved 5,000 to a separate line item.
mm,
What is the consultant services, 357? What does he pay out of that?
What is that? Let's see.
yeah,
So I wonder if that's the old, you know? I wonder if that's what they pay now. Let's see what that is. Oh, that's the mapping. That's the mapping that she wants to move.
oh,
Could move some, you could move some to Title III, but I think, because we've kind of approved Tim for 3 years. I think that left like 22,000 or something,
Mhm.
so it pretty much would,
be gone.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you get that new Title III thing fixed fast. You'll be giving all that money back.
Congress doesn't do anything fast. They're still.
Do they do
struggling.
anything?
I wonder.
No.
They're still struggling with how to fund the fire money pot, which was gonna be changed last year. and
They need
the
to
year
hire Jessica to
before.
come in and help them.
That would be a really fun job. Everybody just like, they're like,
We're done.
we're done. Okay, so. Maybe they don't need as much in equipment repairs. Since they're gonna get a whole new deal.
Oh,
The,
communication.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Is there
For what?
repairs for their vehicles?
No, it's equipment, because it's 911, it's equipment repairs and maintenance. Let me see what I. But, yeah, never mind, it doesn't Where'd they go? Sorry.
I can tell you where I went. I don't know where they went. I suspect similar.
Yeah, probably.
What's that?
There's not a vendor out in the
I
hall.
said, where'd they go?
Oh,
I'm one Roman then, because I had to
I
get rid
think
of
we
some
need to
coffee.
remodel, put bathroom in.
right.
Hey, you guys are quiet out there, I'm trying to read the paper.
Yeah, too loud.
Could also be our safe room, we could say.
That's what you really
You
need.
guys are probably gonna need one.
Yeah.
I just wish we could have just given them back to the department heads and say, this is how much you gotta cut it.
Well,
Because,
you can, but you just need to do that then.
huh?
You can.
Yeah, but we don't have time now. I mean, if
Well,
you
they
need it
can do
by
it.
Tuesday.
Why can't they make that decision and give it to him, send him an email today and say, by Tuesday at 5 o'clock, I need to know where you want these cuts?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't,
Because you know, I just think that we need to give it back to them and say, we've cut what we feel that
but
we
you
can
just
be
need to
cut.
determine the amounts then.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, the total amounts.
That you're gonna make public safety, I mean, really, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is you just need to divvy up how you want those cuts, I guess, right?
So, Jessica, speaking of public safety, on their line 220 where it says uniform allowance,
What page are you on?
page 22 of 26 on the expenditure. What happened there were 5,000, 5,962, 44, then 8,000. What a, and their
Where you
current
look, which line? Oh,
page
220.
220.
Probably the more deputies that we got, the more uniform allowance.
well,
Yeah, that's the number that they gave me.
I'm thinking that can be cut, because I look at their past history and they don't have that many more people that would make the uniform allowance go
What
up.
is their,
It's in
uniform
the
allowance?
contract. Where's that contract,
'Cause-
Charlie?
What contract?
The
The
one
new
that
one?
we're supposed to, the new one that we're supposed to.
It's in that
be-
folder right there next to you, in the manila folder. There you go,
Are
underneath
you
my
getting it?
phone.
I used to have it in the drawers, but they're not there anymore.
It's got the big thing around it, there you go.
That one?
Mhm. The sheriff's contract?
Yeah.
Yep, it's in there. It's the last page it should be anyways.
There's a different amount for jailers and dispatchers and deputies, but I don't think it's, I think it's only something like 400 a year for some.
like pulling teeth out.
It's the worst.
Except words. Surely.
Well, and
Not in there?
when we send
Well, it should have the amount for the,
It does not.
It has to be unequivocally,
With zero.
this is not
Hmm?
part
Had
of
zero on there.
time, this is what that number's gonna be. Don't come in here and piss them. It's not your fault, it's not her fault. We're the ones that made that decision, and that's what you need to cut.
By this day,
That's
that's what we need to know.
because
Because that's what
it's
we'll
all
do.
built.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's, I mean, if you guys are
Oh,
all.
were you looking for the total
united,
amounts that we're
Yeah.
paying them now?
then that's it.
no, I was just, it has in there the amount
Well, I
that
don't
we
know how
get.
we
For
can-
dispatchers and
right here. Right on that
So
tab.
you know how.
No, for uniform allowance.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I welcome it. Call me if you
I'll
want.
just go get mine.
Sorry that we're in this. Sorry that we're 90% federal loan.
Yes,
I'm sorry that there's $350,000 sitting there that we can't touch.
very sorry about that.
I,
But if you, let's just, what's the difference here?
Okay, uniform deputies,
Just between 2 years
get
ago and-
$700 per year for uniform.
And this
Okay.
year it's 60.
Detention officers receive $400 per year, and
Okay.
dispatchers get $365.
I mean, that's a lot of, shit, I see Florida County's taxes are actually going up because they've added into it. They've added 14 new employees, most of them in the justice system. And that was in the paper.
Did they do a levy then? or
Here's
did
where
they-
that shirt, like.
Or did they
How
tax?
that, how
They
that, I
tax
guess
them.
they tax.
Maybe they
yeah.
they did, they must have done a levy.
Oh, I've seen Julie, well.
Oh,
you know,
Julie did, but I don't, have never seen Patty.
I think we need to get back to that, like. is
I
there
found
anyone
it.
wanna do a levy?
Oh, of course you did.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
have a, you know,
So,
He said.
So if we have,
they should be
I mean,
working on that
there's-
now. Like
Well,
right
there's-
now, you know.
we're paying for one, two, so that'd be 6 deputies. Oh, yeah, we are going Tommy
See what
too.
happens with them. You know, maybe
7
when
times
theirs
7,
goes away, or when this one went away.
4,900 right there.
yeah,
Plus,
How
but
many-
6 jailers,
We should
6
check
times
with them.
4.
Speaking of, do we wanna cut anything from the
It's
fair? and make them go
2,400.
out and get other money?
And then, what is there, 5?
Are we-
Well, counting Ronnie, 6.
Where are they at?
6
now?
times 365.
Well, they're at 30, look at their
how many,
history.
6?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
lower than they've ever been.
Huh?
Lower
It's
than
20,
they've ever been.
2,200.
So that
So
will
what,
make,
how much was it?
that alone should make them go out and.
Plus
Okay.
what?
49 plus
I was
24 plus
telling
22.
somebody last week that someone told me that they were
100.
Plus 24,
Mhm.
That's probably the last year.
or 9,500.
9,500. Oh, gee.
Yep.
Hmm.
I have some layers, will those work?
I'm not going there.
No.
And the utilities, that was part of the cell phone thing, right? Yeah.
That
What other-
10,000?
Not just cell phones, that's no other utility other than just cell phones.
I think it might be, what's in that 10,000 utility for sheriff? It's cell phones. and
Just-
it's,
Was it
they have a
water?
wireless card or whatever that.
Oh, they
card's
have
called.
their 911
Yeah.
system thing. So if the
That's
power
not
goes out,
water.
they have,
Sewer, is it? Or is it? Or this is just 911?
That's just 911.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Mhm. I think, we can look at it. So I'm gonna look at something.
I don't know, I mean, when I look at the public safety, it's like we trimmed it quite a bit.
Other than the salary part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as far as revenue coming in, if they were to, you know, sell some of their vehicles that they don't use, some of their, just like all that stuff out there at the airport now. I mean, if they would get on the ball and,
It's not just them though.
no,
It's the county attorney
Yeah.
also. Some of that stuff's been there since Sean was county attorney. But why it's still there is beyond me. I don't
but you
have
would
any
think if
idea.
Or is it
they
a
want
bunch
some
of, like,
revenue
sheriff-
coming
You can do a
in.
sheriff sale, there's a
Yeah,
bunch of
yeah.
stuff out there? Oh.
But, you know, what
Yeah.
he said at the time when we first started talking about that was, well, some of that stuff is still tied up in cases, but some of those cars have been there since
Forever, and
'08
you know
that
they're
I
not.
know of,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. What was I gonna look up?
I can't believe that maybe there's.
Oh,
a-
utilities.
But like a
Counties that
razor,
hang on to
why
that.
can't we sell that razor? I mean, that's
I don't know.
income.
You
I mean,
can't,
even know what
is
they-
it federal? We got it from a federal like surplus, right?
mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
can't sell it for 5 years.
DEA.
If you sell it, you have to give the money back.
Mm.
What object is,
Well, I think it all comes down to manpower. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the only way you're gonna come up with those kind of dollars. I guess what you need to do is come up with a dollar figure for public safety, and if we're looking at JP and at district court, dollar amount for them also.
Utilities is water and sewer. Also,
Is it?
it looks like one annual payment though for that, 601. But it's all wireless and phone. So it's their cell phones and their landlines in their office.
Mhm.
Okay, so you guys. What are we doing? You want me to give you a number? Or like, if you give me a position, I can give you a number. Or, I guess,
Well, I don't think you can cut anybody from dispatch, because they don't have enough of them right now anyway. I mean, I think it's back to the deputies, so they're what, 40 apiece, or somewhere in there? In one position out of JP, and if they went halftime on the district, I'm sure we're not gonna be very damn popular. Huh.
Uh-huh.
No, and when you guys aren't popular, we're not very popular either.
I haven't been popular for a long time.
Yeah, no.
You're in good company.
Jessica, that's
though.
true.
How was your
I
vacation?
lost that popularity. Oh, that was nice.
Was it?
Yeah, that was
Baseball
really good.
game was good?
It was good.
I've
We all-
always wanted to do that with Travis.
Oh,
Go over to a Mariners.
I love afternoon baseball games. I love them.
I love
We
baseball
worked over there
games.
a couple of
I do too.
seasons.
Doesn't matter where they are or
Me too.
what they are, I love baseball.
I do too. We went to the Seahawks on Thursday though. So
Oh,
we did
did
the Seahawks on Thursday when we got there, and then the Mariners on Sunday.
Uh,
So it was very
I
fun.
always wanted to do a Mariners baseball game and a Dolphins. Travis and I have been Dolphin fans forever.
Oh,
And
and
a
the Dolphins.
Dolphins game,
Do the Dolphins play?
not anywhere around here.
Oh, they don't ever. No.
No. But Miami would be all right.
That'd be okay. They're
Yeah.
there, yeah. Yeah.
We worked over there a couple of seasons, and we were always gonna go to a baseball game, but the traffic always scared the hell out of us.
I just texted who I thought was my Joe
Was it my Joe?
a question to do something. You should see your Joe's response, because I had texted your Joe instead of mine.
Oh, that is so funny. He's like, what are you telling me?
Is he
what
gonna
to
do it?
Yeah,
No, his language was not very nice.
that's so funny.
What's April Quinlan's kid's name? She mentioned
Gannon.
Gannon.
Yeah, he is super cute.
Yeah.
So that's a deputy.
42.
So you could say, like,
Is that benefits and everything?
it doesn't have health insurance because that's not going to affect this fund. And it doesn't have retirement since those are kind of in separate funds. Well, they are in separate funds.
If you go to kind of hover over the Excel
Mm-hmm.
thing, I think, your little, the down below, hover over that.
Which hover over what?
Hover over the Excel app,
What are you wanting me to do?
your spreadsheet that you sent me about the, when you plug in how much somebody makes.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it doesn't really matter if you're not figuring.
Because I have it all though. Because I have all of my.
Get it changed to
Spreadsheet.
deputy for a jailer, see what that does.
I don't think you can. I don't know if you can lose those because you have. I don't know. Let's see.
Well, no, we have 6 jailers,
You do.
I believe so.
You do. So, but I
The other
was
night I
thinking.
went there and there was 2 of them on at the same time, so
But
I'm
if you
just
look at
curious.
the dollar amounts, Roman, I mean, we're probably gonna have to do a deputy and,
Yeah,
or 2 deputies.
Let's look at. So they have to cover 24 hours a day.
yeah.
So, let's So they have to cover 24 hours a day times 2,080. What was that? Then I think it's like 4.2 or something, isn't it?
For what?
How many full-time employees you need? So, to cover 24 hours a day, every day, you need 4.2 employees.
Mhm.
And, let's see, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 employees, 6 jailers, and you need 4.2 to cover.
They have six
But then
jail-
they say they have a lot that overlap, and in that department, it kind of makes sense, like, a little bit, I guess, like, or unless you wanted to call a deputy in to do it. But if they have to take the prisoners upstairs, so they're up there, and then they have to have another
Right,
person in.
right, right.
So they overlap more
Yeah.
than, but maybe you could call a deputy, I don't know.
Mhm.
But that's, if you just had single shift, it's 4.2.
And how many deputies do we have?
Deputies? You wanna count the sheriff? You wanna count everybody?
I'm just curious.
So just deputies,
5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sorry, guys.
And if you go by,
The chips, yeah, if you count the
if you
sheriff.
use the same formula, it takes 4.2 employees to cover, and they've got a total of 7, so 4.2, you know, Tommy,
Yeah. no,
and that, so
yeah.
then that means then they're able to cover vacation, and they're able to cover sick leave. But if you cut them more than that, then they start to not be able to, you know, I don't know. I think that 7 county cops in the whole county, I don't know. I
Doesn't
hate to
seem
cut-
excessive.
Yeah, I hate to cut that, but you should hear how many Sanders County has. They have 11.
But their county's about twice the size of ours too.
Yeah, but they have 3 incorporated cities.
Yeah.
PDs in there. They got Hot Springs PD, Plains, and Thompson Falls. I don't know.
Who was that?
It's telling me that there's a
Recess.
recess. No.
Oh.
It,
You need to take a potty break, Mary.
We only have 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm looking at public safety, I mean, when I look at that number up there, it's like, geez, but where, I don't see where, other than like you said, it's just the 438 of it is salaries for everybody, except for care of prisoner doesn't come out of that.
No,
its own.
that's just law enforcement. Care of prisoners is on that
Mhm.
separate section.
So when you say law enforcement, that's the salaries for just the deputies, or are we counting the dispatchers in there?
So dispatchers
Be this sheriff, under sheriff.
are, they're in there too, minus
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, -1 for
Minus
911.
1.
So, half of it is salaries. And speaking of care of prisoners, are they making money on the jail being open? Or what's the revenues look like on that one?
So
Because that's the other thing some counties do, is they end up,
it was something that we could definitely look into.
And then what?
they end up
Like
closing down.
changing the
Oh,
like, not having the jail and just
But
paying
then
a
you'll
day
have-
rate.
Yeah, but then you'll have to figure in the cost for
Transportation.
transportation
And
and
housing.
housing them in Missoula.
Right.
Yeah, but it's just an,
If
Oh,
Missoula
you just need to
can
do
handle it.
really just
If
do the
Missoula can
analysis
handle.
Mhm.
and see.
Remember like, was it Lake County that did that? They shut down theirs and then they ended up spending twice as much shipping them and housing them. Was it Lake or something like that?
I
It
think
was
it's
Lake.
something that,
I was just
Should
wondering if the
probably
revenues
look
were,
at.
I mean,
But
it's
not-
nice to have the convenience and like you say, the deputies would be out of the area a lot more if they're trucking people out there.
yeah, then, yeah.
But it'd be nice if there was still a good projected revenue from inmates.
Yeah, it's just not nearly what it used to be.
Mhm.
No, well,
You
we
know,
don't
it used to
get
be
near
like,
the
it used to be
federal prisoners.
350 and now it's 200 or.
Yeah, we don't
Um,
get near the federal prisoners that we used to
Mhm.
get, and I think that was a kind of a bartered deal between the sheriff at that time and whoever was in Missoula.
So Board of Prisoners, last year, was 172,000. Plus, we still have some accounts receivable though, so, so plus about 55,000 is the accounts receivable. So 225 roughly is kind of the revenue. And on the expense side, you know, care of prisoners,
What page is that there?
look at page 24,
Oh.
it's 335,000 is their budget, just for the care of prisoners. So 110,000 more than.
Then
Then
we're
the-
bringing in, yeah, so then you have to think, well, would we be able to do it for 110,000?
How much does it cost to house?
Uh,
It's hard to, because I did,
a board bill's usually like $65 a day,
Okay.
$66.
and then we would need to determine how many, on average, how many county prisoners we
Mm.
have.
Versus
How many
state.
do we have? Do you guys know roughly? Like even right now,
I think it's like 17 or 18 back there.
Mhm.
let's just say 18.
Yeah, I think last time I was in there were about 18 or 19, and like 4 of them were state, and the rest were all county, so it's more county inmates, so that's the one we'd be paying for. Yeah, if you went 15 inmates times,
15? Yeah, so 15 times every day, 365 days,
yeah.
times 65. It's 355,000,
Mhm.
so.
It's a wash, well, we're not even counting mileage, gasoline, overtime for trucking them to wherever
get
they're
'em.
going,
Yeah,
Yeah, we could even get them in Missoula.
In Missoula, I think charges more than 65. I think they charge more for their housing. And they're full. They're wanting to
Are they
build a new
full?
jail in there.
that's crazy.
And you'd probably still have to use this for a holding facility.
And you still have to man it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with the budget cuts we're at right now, Jessica, with the ones we made last week, and then 10,000 for the library today, and did we do anything else?
We did 9,000 in Charlie's budget pretty much for data processing
Oh,
Some out
so,
of
and
Commissioners.
Commissioners too. Mm-hmm.
so that's basically 95 or 100,000, so we still need to hit another.
Yeah, it's like this.
So, as it is now, what's the cash reserve, your percentage and all that look like right now?
So we are looking at like another 132,000. And if we,
If we weren't able to make any more
Kinda
cuts,
don't
what does
wanna
that
look
look
at-
like for the reserves, is what I guess what I'm trying
so it would be bad. Because to break even in cash, we have to cut at least $78,489.
to, more today.
To
Just to break
with-
even.
Yeah.
To break even, to have the same amount of cash that we did at the beginning of the year,
Really?
at the end, we need, so this, let's put this over here, 78,489. So that's our minimum amount right there. So that keeps us all the same, you know, assuming everything is exact. Revenue comes in just like it was supposed to, I mean, you know.
78,489 keeps us all the same. Additional cuts
Yep,
today.
that's correct.
And your line D and line E, what is that? Column D meaning current? Or,
Proposed
oh,
revenue.
okay, now I see revenue.
But it's funny, I guess it's, yeah.
And the planning board is a little out of whack.
The planning board's gonna need a lot more mills.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking.
And that's just simply because they've spent all of their money. Meaning, they used to have quite a bit of cash reserves, but they have used all of that cash reserve now. And they just don't have the revenue they used to.
That's it.
You know, he used to have a lot of subdivision revenue.
What, and the library's revenues, where are those coming from? Late fines, or how do they
So-
get that much revenue?
They get
We
donations.
gave him mills too.
Oh.
Most of it's mills.
Oh,
Set the
okay.
mills at-
Oh, okay, so mills are included in revenue, I was thinking of other revenue.
Mm-mm. It's total revenue and total expenditures.
Mhm.
So if you just, see, if we just did the 80,000. So this is your range, which you still need to do, right here. So if we wanna do the minimum, you still need to cut 59,000. You wanna, you know, kind of, I guess,
Start building
Balance,
it,
yeah.
you're gonna do another 132.
or somewhere in between would be, you know, okay.
Well, like you said, we should at least do 75,000 for sure.
You have to. There's just no, there's no question there.
And I don't see the point of going through this and then saying, oh God, we should have done more. Or finding out down the road we should have done
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
It,
If any,
but
I guess
I'm
if
an
you guys
extreme
do it
guy,
today, because I'm more with you. Like if you do it today, you're gonna, it's gonna, you wouldn't have to do it again.
yeah.
Do you see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like,
I don't wanna have to go through this again next year.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just,
Well,
Not
we
only that,
may.
you don't
I
wanna
mean-
get to
Well, I
Christmas
mean,
and
the-
find out that you have to cut.
Yeah,
That's the
I
thing.
think, you know, I think it's, if you just get the budget down to a workable, efficient budget, and you do it right now, then you're set up, you've set yourself up for good years ahead,
We've,
you
Well,
know?
what are our options right now today? I mean, what, we can't, we don't have enough time to do another RIF, do we?
No, that's not how you do it at this point. You just cut the budget and that's
the
it.
department does,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So what you would say is, you know, we've cut your, you know, this is my understanding how it will work, is you are in charge of the budget. So if you approve a budget of $100,000 for
Mhm.
public safety, they have to work within that budget.
Mhm.
So they can come back and say, okay, well, then these are the people we
Mhm.
will not be able to
afford.
afford anymore. It's not a RIF, it's a reduction in just budget.
Just their budget.
It's just you're just approving the
Mhm.
annual budget.
Or it could work the same way, the opposite, if you found money in your budget and said, oh, well, here's the money that we are able to spend, but we're not at that point.
No,